Hello and welcome back to a tournament of lies. I said it 4 times, Dennis Walsh. What do you think about that?
It's more than I have sleeves.
Straight into it. For those not enjoying the video version, Dennis Walsh rocking a wonderful... What's the PC term? We have to come up for a PC term for wife beater.
It's tank top, right?
Tank top? Oh yeah, there you go. I don't even have to go there.
No.
James, speaking of... I could go for either one. Speaking of tanks, how you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. It's been a lot of fun commenting on Dennis's tank top before we got here.
I know. It's
talk about
a thing. Yes, we're all wearing lovely shirts today. Congratulations to all of us. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know this. If you're listening to this, you don't. So we have now... This is a new part of the podcast where we're going to overly describe everything that's happening on screen throughout it. Last week's one was the Purgatory of Lies. We got through Papa EO, Sunset Overdrive, and Transistor. They are now locked into our ever-growing list. 18 games, the best of which, Super Mario World, sitting pretty. The worst of which, Unreal Championship 2, the Leandru Conflict. But let me tell you, we got a bunch of submissions and a lot of people sending in bad games now because I think they realize that we've been... The sort of median quality is pretty good. Like the games low aren't that bad. Like the bottom half's got games like Papa Yo and Gex in it, The Witcher. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think we have a out and out bad game on the list. Like I don't think there's actually one game on this list you say that's trash.
Let me tell you, by the end of today, based on the emails we've gotten, that may be different.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so we'll see. What have you guys been playing for the past week anyway? What have you been doing? What have you been playing since you got back from New Zealand? Have you really played... I'm guessing you guys have been playing Dota together anyway.
Yes.
Dota and Rocket League. So two never-ending games.
Have you played Hoops?
They do it. I've played a couple of games of Hoops. I'm only kind of in the early stages of getting decent at aerials anyway, so Hoops is a very aerial version of Rocket League. But I'm okay. I'm competent-ish at it. It's a really good slant on Rocket League, though. Really good.
Super fun that it's like a free update, too. James, have you played any of it?
Not Hoops, but Rocket League, of course. I'm shocked they should... are they keeping it permanent, or is it just going to be a temporary thing like the hockey thing over Christmas?
No, so the hockey thing is still there, too. They took it down for a while,
cool.
But yeah, you can still get into the Snow Day playlist. Yeah, I think they're going to keep that there because they have Rocket Labs as well, which are the weird looking ones, but they're just not in like ranked play. Yeah, I'm loving it. You're right. The aerial thing is super important, especially on the tip offs. And if you play people who don't know how to tip off, it's disgraceful. I scored 10 goals against one team.
Oh wow!
And like 7 of them were from tip offs. It was appalling. They didn't quit actually, which I thought was really good. Which is happening a lot more. I feel like as well. I'm getting a lot more like people being shitty and quitters on PC at least. Anyway, let's get into it. Rocket League has not been submitted yet, interestingly. I don't think so anyway. We've gotten so many emails. There's like 200 emails over since this time we started. I don't want to say too high. We dissuade people. Please send them in. lies@atournamentoflies.com. But the first one here, I'm going to go with one sent by Chris Berg. And he sent one in with a theme, which was something Dennis was talking about when we first started this podcast. Themes are good. If you can lock them into a theme, that's a good shout. His theme is walking simulators. So the 3 of these games are what you would consider, or probably what he would consider, walking simulators. The first of which, probably maybe the alien queen of walking simulators, the one that sort of got the ball rolling, or at least was one of the bigger ones, Gone Home. On PC. Have you guys played this?
Yes.
Kind of.
Okay, we got a kind of.
Yeah, so I've started it on numerous occasions, upwards of, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 times have I started that game. And on different computers. I've played it on at least 3 or 4 different PCs and never got past kind of going into the... I actually do not think I have gone... Sorry, I have. I've gone into the house and I have once gone into the room on the front left, which is, I think, a bathroom. And that's it.
What?
The lights flicker and freak me out. So people are going to learn pretty quick that I do not play horror games because I am extremely scared of everything. And yeah, Gone Home. I've had to Google it. I've had to... Is Gone Home a horror game? and it's a resounding no. And yet I'm still too scared to play the fucking game. So yeah, I started, I quit. So my plan is to play this in my work office at some stage, somewhere that
Okay.
just couldn't be less scary and full of just kind of people milling about talking. So my big plan is to put on a pair of headphones and play it for 2 hours in the back of my office and hopefully not be scared. That's it.
I love it. It is a game that, it presents itself as a horror game for like the
Yes.
first like quarter, maybe like first half an hour, maybe something like that. And it is like, that's amazing that it obviously pulls it off to the effect that you have been like shy. You've been like trying to get over the hump of the horror hump, but never managed to do it. Yeah, it's a short game. Came out in 2013, so almost 3 years ago now. It was in August. Steve Gaynor of the Fulbright Company up in I think they're based in Portland. They've sort of, I feel like this is part of a big wave of walking simulators. There was a lot of resentment about this game when it first came out because people were like, "Oh, this isn't a real game, and you don't do anything in it." And Steve was actually one of the designers, lead level guys on Minerva's Den, which was the Bioshock expansion, which is maybe the best part of any of the Bioshocks. It's like super, super good. James, what did you think of Gone Home when you played it?
Well, first I'll say, Dennis, just wait until we play Slender the Arrival. You'll absolutely love that. It's going to be nothing but fun.
Outlast.
I think that the people and the fans that have been clamoring for Unreal Championship 2, the Landry conflict, to be off the bottom of the list are going to celebrate. They'll be dancing in the streets. What you just mentioned, Danny, you know how frugal I can be. And let's just say what you just mentioned was very much the sentiments I had when I played it and played through the first parts going, oh, is this a horror game? Is there something scary around the corner? And after the 2 hours when I finished it, I kind of went, oh, why did I buy that? Why did I pay for that? It was okay. I get that it was the Herald, and it was like the first one of those games, and it, like, again, an indie game that sort of popped and got a lot of, I guess got a lot of press because it came in that time where games are more and more trying to either be for a genre or show they can be more than just games. They can have elements of depth to it. But I was not a fan, and it has always just had a craw. It has just been a stick in my side for a while. It is okay. It is a good way to spend 2 hours if something is late, but is it a game really? I mean, it does walk that line. It sort of wants to be presented as a game, but also be almost accessible in the fact that, like, no, it's not a game. It's a story. It's an arc. It's an interactive story almost, short story at that.
Yeah, a short story.
So
I wonder if a game like this lives or dies on the story it tells, because all it really has is its story. And like, I think it's whether you like a story or not. Like, I don't even know how people critique like books. Like, because like it seems like such an unbelievably weirdly subjective thing that, like, this game I feel like appeals to a lot of people for specific reasons, for like a number of specific reasons, and none of them like latched onto me necessarily. Like it didn't like evoke the teenage life that I had.
Yes.
But I did sort of like it in the same way that, like, when I watch Juno, that's not a story that like resonates with me, but it's a story that's told well, and I can sort of enjoy that perspective. So I kind of enjoyed this on the same level, where like it didn't speak to me in this like personal way, but it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was good. Like, I enjoyed it, and the ending actually was quite sweet. I found, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, again, this is a thing where either you played this game and you're like, what the fuck is this? I'm just walking through rooms and there's environmental storytelling but not much else. Or, like, I wonder, did you have an idea what this was before you went to play it? Okay, so that...
Oh, no, yeah, like, I'm definitely, like, in all aspects, like, I try not to watch movie trailers. I try not to read blurbs. I honestly, even if a book is recommended, I almost, like, try not to read the back of the book. I do like going into things blind, because it either means that I love something or something's left to my imagination of what it's going to turn into, or it could unwrap. It's win-win. Like, a lot of people like trailers or reading about it or reviews because it lets them know that it's something that they're either familiar with or that they do enjoy. but to me it takes away a lot of the fun.
I mean,
so
especially
I went into this blind.
yeah, especially because you're someone who like works in film, and like I'd say if you watch a trailer, you probably have like 90% of the movie figured out by the time you've
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're going to see Star Wars, like you sort of know what's going to happen. It's just other stuff. But no, I mean, I went in blind. I just knew it got really good reviews. I agree with you that it's an interesting story. It's not one that we can really attach to, but I definitely think I went into it, especially with the theme, thinking, oh, this is going to be a Slender the Arrival. Like, oh, I'm going to get a few scared, or even what was that one that came out? The one you're walking around and they sort of set it you're on an island.
Oh,
it's like
Dear
Afterlife
Esther.
Dear Esther, yeah. I sort of even felt like that, where it's just going to be like sort of a creepy feel to it. And it just, I don't know. By the end, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, even halfway through, like, it sort of, I think I agree, like, halfway through, it sort of, like, loses the element of the scare. But I guess that's sort of, like, as you're already unraveling and figuring out what came out.
Yeah, you're right. Dear Esther was probably the one that kicked it all off, actually. It was a year earlier. I think Gone Home as well is another game that's brief to its credit, and it's kind of an interesting game because it's like, oh, you can make a game. Well, for me anyway, it was like, oh, you can make a game where you just walk around for 2 hours and it's actually entertaining on some level. Whereas before I was like, that sounds ridiculous. Like there's a Counter-Strike map off the Gone Home level where it's like the smallest map ever, and it like reminds you just how small the actual environment you spend in this game is. But I still think it does something that is like, I don't have the sort of big grandiose appreciation for it that a lot of people do, but I think it's like an interesting, like a very well designed game that's like, oh, they actually managed to make environmental storytelling entertaining for 2 hours, and they did tell a very sort of sweet story, not like an amazing story, but like a very like well crafted story,
sentimental almost.
Yeah, and I wonder if we had someone on the panel who was like really resonated with this, it would probably go higher. But for me it's like a solid good game that I would recommend to somebody. But yeah, I don't know. Like, you spent $20 on this as well, right? Like, that's how much it costs most of the time.
I think maybe even a sale like 10, and I thought, oh, I don't know. It's just one. That's just the thing. I think it's, I don't know. Honestly, the money thing is just sort of like an aside. It's just sort of what it is. But I guess it's an element. But it does sort of come into it. I mean, if you are buying a game and if they're recommended, and someone's like, I have X amount of money. What should I buy, this or something else? You might say, well, this one you actually get, time with it.
Yeah, it's
same
as
something else.
Yeah, it's a really difficult part of like the review process where you're like, does it matter that this costs this much, or like World of Warcraft's a subscription thing, but like Destiny isn't. So like, where does it's a fucking massive can of worms. I don't know where are we all feeling for this? Looking at our list of 18 games here, I mean, I feel like I hate. So what I really don't want to do is keep filling up the middle.
Yep, I think end bottom. I'm going to say 19 right now.
I doubt it. I doubt that's going to be allowed. Is it?
Yeah,
I think I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to relieve. For me anyway. Okay, you guys can fight me on it, but the way I am is, I will relinquish to the very small chapter of people, Xbox original, OG Xbox Unreal fans who are clamoring. And I'm willing to throw mud in the face of probably a bigger, larger constituent who would consider Gone Home a good thing. And just say, bring it on. We're ready for you. We'll take it on. It's part of the list and it's staying there for a while. At least 6 months, and I don't care. You've come up with arguments.
Danny?
I can't buy... there's no way this is going bottom. I'm like... I would play Gone Home. You would play Gone Home again, James, over Hellgate London. I would say that.
And The Witcher, no doubt in my mind.
Or Gex. I feel like Gone Home goes in... I mean... like super...
Well, Dennis, when you were scared of Gone Home, like, do those emotions resonate more with you than Papa and Yo? Like, is that at least making you feel more alive?
Like, I could at least run it in 1080p, so that's pretty good.
You could play both in an airport.
Yeah, I could have. I had it installed on the laptop and ready to go, but just never got around to it. And I only needed 20 minutes, apparently. Well, look, guys, I don't even know why I'm talking right now. Why am I having a monologue? These are all good, valid questions. But the answer is I can't rank this because I haven't played it, so as you were.
I feel like it goes like somewhere in the Super Hex. I think it might split Angry Birds and Super Hexagon. I think that's where it is for me, because it's like it's kind of similar to Super Hexagon in a way that it is a small, like, it's a sort of a honed idea done very well, but whether or not you like the game depends on whether you're in on the idea or not. And I was, and James wasn't. So like that's where that kind of sits for me. Is like 12th. Right in the middle.
I think we put it 14th, and everyone's a winner. I think it goes just beneath Excite Bike.
But above Popo and Yo.
Popo and Yo, which I haven't played, so that's unfair.
I mean, it's definitely better than Popo and Yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I played through it. It wasn't like pulling teeth, but it was very short, and it was.
I said it was going above Super Hexagon, not under.
Yeah, no, I was trying to sort of, means test it and put it sort of in the middle between both of those things. Not quite all the way at the bottom. Maybe leave Unreal Championship there for a bit. Do we put it 13th then, just beneath Super Hexagon?
See, that's like I get that you want to like you're trying to like establish that we're gonna find a middle ground here, but I'm the only person who's played Super Hexagon, so I can't say it's worse than that.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I mean, if you were telling, if let's just say they're both equal price and experience, and like someone was like, I need a game, and all these sort of elements that you would normally have to review or to recommend something that came in.
If they're the same price, it's really hard because Super Hexagon's like a $2 game.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to say. I mean, if they both did them like 99 cents. Okay.
Completely forget the price, because like, let's say the best game on our list was some game that for some reason cost 500 quid.
Right.
Like, it's still going to be the best game ever made. Our list isn't the best games ever made divided by their price.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take price out of it. I'm trying to say like there is no price. Like it's not a cost. Like you have to recommend a game to someone. It's Super Hexagon or Gone Home. Yeah. Which one would you recommend? Over all the other elements.
I would probably recommend Gone Home. I think Gone Home is more of. I think more people would like Gone Home than would like Super Hexagon.
Fair enough. And there's probably some element to that as well.
All right, we stick it in there.
Yeah.
All right, Gone Home.
Got away with one.
It's not as good as Angry Birds.
It's a steal. You know what this is? This is the goddamn, like...
It's a stitch up.
He's there. Yeah, no, it's finishing moves gone down. He's there for the 3 count, but the referee's knocked out. And then the other manager comes in, knocks him on the head, and the referee wakes up, and he ends up with a loss. That's what it feels like to me.
Oh, well, don't worry. We've got 2 more walking simulators to get through here. The next one is one that I haven't played all that much of, and I wish I played more of. The Stanley Parable. Dennis, you got your hands up. Have you not played this?
I recuse myself.
James, you played it?
I have played it. I haven't played enough of it. Can this one go in purgatory? Because what I did play, I enjoyed a lot. I did enjoy the fact that it was sort of crazy to a degree. There's like an all of elements where it's like just messes with your mind, goes through. But I would like to play it more.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe this becomes a purgatory game for next week or something.
Danny, how much have you played of it?
Not enough. Like probably this. Like maybe. Like I feel like in the range of an hour, and I think that's not anywhere near enough. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good shout for purgatory actually.
Because I agree. Like I think what happened with me was I was playing it, and then it crashed in a weird thing where like nothing was responsive to the point where I had to like anytime I'd load into the game, it would like automatically just bring me to this place where I couldn't do anything. So I had to pretty much. I think I uninstalled it and did it fresh and started over again. And
no worries.
Instantly just walked away.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Stanley Parable is sort of a first-person exploration game with this like unreliable narrator who kind of like narrates the weird things that you do and say, and like tells you to go certain places, and if you don't, then comments on the fact that you didn't. Very clever in terms of its design, and yeah, it sort of had a lot of plaudits as well, but yeah, one that I skipped over, and it seems like you did. All 3 of us did. So this will be a good one to stick in purgatory. We have an empty purgatory right now as well, so
yep,
we should probably do that. All right, so the last game then on Chris Berg's Walking Simulators, which he has given to us via lies at a tournamentoflies.com, is, and I love that he put this in there, The Order 1886, the PlayStation 4 exclusive. Which came out 2 years ago now. No, 1 year ago.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, February 2015. Made by Ready at Dawn Studios, which I think are based somewhere in Europe.
Now, you guys have probably played this. Is this sort of an inside joke? Because isn't it supposed to be like an action game?
Yeah.
No, it's
Or
like a
is this
rail
kind of-
shooter.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, whoa.
You don't even get to walk. It's ridiculous.
They marketed this game as a third-person Gears of War style game, and it is the most fucking linear cover shooter in the history of the world. So I've played it. I played it at a bunch of preview events, and I maybe played 2 hours of the finished game. And I think this game is fucking garbage. So it's really, really good looking fucking garbage. So I'm interested what you think, Dennis.
So yeah, I've completed it. I've played every second of that game. So yeah, like what you're saying is kind of half right. It's certainly garbage. But like, it's good looking in that there's really nice art, but not really. Like, it is absolute bullshit that everybody holds this up as some sort of technical marvel. Technical marvel it ain't. It's a fucking travesty. Like, yeah, like the Resi 1 remake on the GameCube looks as good as this because it didn't have to do anything with environments. Because,
Right.
like, it's easy to make a game just look gorgeous when there's nothing going on. It's, God, the story was trash. The whole thing was terrible. As a cover shooter, like, yeah, I think they... Jesus, it's borderline fraud. What they
Right.
did.
Thank you.
It's not a game. It's like, yeah, there's even elements where it kind of suggests it's getting into the Assassin's Creed territory of kind of like you can climb up buildings and stuff. But like you just literally, there's only one way into this place, and it's climbing literally up this wall into that window, and that's it. That's the only. Oh God, I don't even. I have too much rage talking about this game.
And you don't even do that via like, oh, this is with the movement mechanic that you use in this game. It's just you go up and you press fucking X. Like it is a quick time event video game, and all the times where there aren't quick time events, it is the most banal and basic cover shooter you could possibly imagine. Like the guns are interesting, but you never like. You hardly ever use them, and like the people who are using them against are idiots, and it's like the game's got blinkers on where it's trying to like funnel you down this linear line. It's like, don't look that way, or don't look that way, or you gotta keep going here and do this. It's like it's trying to like protect you from the fact that this is actually, it's like a shit carnival ride, you know. it's like it's trying
really
to trick you into thinking this is anyway near like deserving of the asking price, and it's fucking not. And like there was massive backlash, I think, with like PS4 like owners, because they were like, oh, this is one of our only unique IPs. But I am totally with you when on the like borderline fraud thing, because I remember doing a preview for this. I think it was like a PlayStation Experience or something, and playing this game and being like, what? Like, this is what this game is? And I did a video thing afterwards where it was the most cautionary preview of all time, where I was saying like, I haven't played all of this game, but I've played this part, and it's not the game they're telling you it is. It's like, it's just a fucking cover, like the world's most boring linear cover shooter. But because it looked so good in all the trailers, people were like gawking all over it. And then the reviews were fucking all over the place, because some people were like, oh, it's a really, fun single player jaunt, and then other people were like, this is just hot garbage. This like plays like something that came out 15 years ago.
Yeah, those ones were the right ones. Yeah, Jesus, I don't know. Like I guess its simplicity makes it like it wasn't broken. It didn't like frustrate me in like a difficult way. Like there was no, I don't know. Like, but it was bad. It was a bad game, and like, is this another one that we kind of hammer because of a pre-misconception, like that we thought it was going to be something that it wasn't? This, like, it's just a rail shooter. There's just no way to. It's not even like a cover shooter. It's a fucking rail shooter.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a poor game.
I find it hard to give it an out because of how bad the marketing was pretty bad. But like even I remember like IGN gave it a 6.5 or something. Even then I was like disgraced that they gave it that high. Like we gave it a 5 out of 10. I thought that this game was just like, I really have a problem with this game. I'm so sorry.
It's
you
poor.
do too.
It's really poor. And it's mad because I just don't complete enough games. For some reason I've finished that. I think I just got my PS4. I maybe kind of as much as you can complete Destiny and the Taken King, and I was like, I just want something that I can complete. And I knew it was short as well, because that was another thing that people went fucking mad over, was that it was like 5 hours long.
Oh wow.
Yeah, full price game.
Yeah, if you want to get annoyed at stuff, you're spending 60 at the time, probably $70 or euros, and 4.5, 5 hours if you hammer through it. Blech.
Yeah, and zero replay value at all.
None, zero.
And no other modes or just.
Oh wow, there's not even like unlockables or anything like that to replay it through.
No, this was like this game was trying to be the heavy rain of shooters. It was trying to be like,
oh wow,
we're telling this like really good, well scripted, like voiced over and like delicately mastered, visual novel, but also there's shooting, but like there's no agency whatsoever. Like you could fucking do it. This is definitely at the bottom for me.
Okay. I also played it on like, I don't know, probably just normal or hard. I might have died once or twice the whole game. It was appallingly easy. Like, and even like, I'd probably get more frustrated with like kind of regular fucking enemies than I would say with a boss fight. Every single boss fight in it was just a like a quick time event.
Right.
They were always simple. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, they had like footage of like, you're like parasailing or abseiling down this zeppelin in the trailer, and you're like, wow, you get to play this. And then when you're doing it, it's like tap X, tap X, tap X.
Yeah,
are you tapping
poor.
X?
That was poor.
All right,
so,
I this goes down our new number 20th in for me. What do you think, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm typing it in there already. Yeah, like, yeah, again, like, I don't know. I'm really annoyed like that we have The Witcher so low, but I'm also really annoyed that I kind of dislike The Witcher enough that it's that low, because I always want to like The Witcher more than I like it.
Right.
And you see, for me in this day and age, The Witcher just seems almost like a broken game to me. It seems like I have a good PC, it can play it flawlessly, and it just seems pretty much unplayable. The Order isn't unplayable, but The Order is actively damaging to the medium of video games. So. I can't put it any higher.
Yeah, The Order 1886 for me is like the 1-2 of this is a bad game and I fucking hate this game. So
yeah, like you take away the mustaches and kind of Victorian setting, the game has nothing.
Yeah, there is a certain element of like charm in like you're right in the style of the game. That's the only thing it's got going for it, and it's nowhere near enough to save it from being like the slog that it is. No. So there we go. All right, The Order 1886, the bottom of our tournament of lies. That, my friends, is a bottom of truths. Our friends on the Unreal Championship 2, the Leandri conflict parole or board will be happy with that one, no doubt.
Yes.
But yeah, let's crack on into another one. The next one comes in via email, lies@tournamentoflies.com, by Everett Gunther. What a wonderful name. If we had a list of names, his would be at the top.
Yeah, number one.
Easily.
First game comes in from Everett. Can't believe this was so inspired. We've all played it, I'm sure. It's almost impossible not to have played it if you've ever owned and operated a Windows machine. It's Minesweeper.
Okay.
Have we all played Minesweeper, James?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Of course. Oh, I think.
Take unlock all the achievements.
Do they even still have it in Windows? That is a question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm on Windows 10 here. I can do a little.
Yeah.
Little Minesweeper check.
You have to install the app.
Oh really?
Oh, come on, Windows.
It's free though. It's got a rating free of 2.5 out of 5 right now on the Microsoft
Price is right
Store.
for you, James.
Minesweeper came out in 1989, the original version. It's been around almost as long as we three have. We're all used to the hexagonal or the regular version. There's lots of other versions, 3D versions, hexagonal versions, triangular versions. But good old Minesweeper, as we know and love it, it's just a game where you click boxes and you see numbers and you try not to hit the bombs. The mines.
I always forget which way you do it. It's either if you have like a really big minefield or if you have a really small one, and you always start in the corners, and then like that way you clear really fast, and then just plant flags.
The corners are easy because there's less chance for like hitting one.
Yeah.
So it gives you a number, and you kind of figure you're trying to like logic guess where they are, and you can right click and put the flags down. But on the original one, on the Windows 95 one, I guess that's not the original one, but that version, you could like make your own one. So you could say like, oh, let's put low amount of mines, but like a big map. And if you did that, you could like the first click would like clear 80% of the field, you know.
And then I think it's set, and you had like 10 flags or 10 mines, and you just guess it. I mean, I think we can all say that we've probably spent more time playing Minesweeper than we should have, but still only played like a small amount of it. I don't know. There's definitely an element to it. The fact that it stayed on Windows for so long, that it was there. I mean, it was a go-to with Solitaire. I think Minesweeper Solitaire.
Yeah, it was a game that like people who didn't play games played.
It's almost weirdly, while it's not at all like it, it falls into that weird like card game type of realm. I think it is for people in my mind that are like 55 and not interested in video games. That just kind of click through.
I should say that the free version of Minesweeper that came up when I typed it in was not the original one, was not the official one. Microsoft Minesweeper has actually got 4.25 stars, my friends.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Like, are we just lying to ourselves though? It is terrible, right? That's the thing. That's the thing about Minesweeper. Like, Solitaire is genuinely a great game. Logic is fantastic.
Spider Solitaire even better.
Like Tetris will one day come up on this, and we'll all be like, the thing about Tetris is it's just the best. No. Whereas Minesweeper is just garbage. just the worst. It was kind of a running joke that they kept putting it on, right? Right?
I have no idea.
It's fucking dreadful.
That's a good point. I mean, like, the only reason we've actually played it is because it was free and it was there.
Yeah. You'd play like literally 2 games of it, and you'd be like, "This is so stupid. Why am I doing this?" And you were 12, and you were saying that.
Yeah.
I can put it above the order.
I was gonna say, is it number 19? It's probably number 19.
Are we putting Minesweeper? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, longevity alone
would make it above Unreal Tournament, so it has to go 20 now.
Oh, sorry, 20. You're right.
Do you think I mean, Minesweeper? There's a purity to Minesweeper that I feel Unreal Championship 2, the Leandri conflict, sort of doesn't grasp.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. One of them's a video game that's kind of fun, I'm sure. Knowing nothing about that game.
Yeah.
How many mines do you sweep?
Like
10?
Is Minesweeper better than Hellgate London?
I've never played Hellgate London. I'll take your word for it. I don't know if we put it above The Witcher, will people actually hunt us down?
Yes.
Like will LARPers come for us in our sleep?
No, I can't do that. I can't.
And throw lightning bolts.
I'm
fine with putting it beneath Unreal Championship. I say nostalgia, but not all nostalgia is good. Maybe just reminiscing then. Or is reminiscing good? I have memories of Minesweeper. And they are very neutral, and they are very pale, bland,
Wait, I'll put it this
beige
way.
Memories of Minesweeper.
What year was it originally released?
89.
89. Okay, so the year is 1989. You've got what, a NES or something?
Tetris is already for sure.
You've played other games. You've got other.
Yeah.
It's going bottom of the list then, right?
But I think was this not one of those games though that ended up like it was one of those programmers wrote it into Excel or like the first spreadsheet things that you had to like find Easter eggs to get to it. Like was it one of those things?
No, there was a weird flight simulator and there was a first person game, I think. Yeah. Although it's weird you talk about it like that, because when I think about Minesweeper, like how much like it means to me, it does actually mean the same amount as like Word 95 meant.
Yeah, well that's I think
functional and part of my personal software history, but I don't really want to touch it ever again.
Software history, like, you know, you're gonna, like, if you think back to the time, when did Wolfenstein 3D or the original Wolfenstein come out?
God.
Like 91, 93.
Yeah,
92. Okay, 91, 92. Right, fine. That's quite a bit later, but like, you know, there were actual video games being made at that time. No question. Back then, this game would have been the kind of worst game you could play. Like,
I think it's literally something that you like. You're doing work and you're typing away and you're like writing or you're doing essays and you're like,
what's
I
better
can't
than
actually.
work?
Yeah, Minesweeper. Yeah, completely. It's like oh, I can't actually crack into a game. Throw on Minesweeper for a second.
Yeah, for a second.
Like Ski Free. Like Ski Free, if that comes up, Ski Free's going high on the list. Ski Free's probably above Star Wars Pod Racer. Like I'd put that high. But Minesweeper, again, it's just the memories are there. There are technically memories of it. They're bland, neutral, milquetoast, beige memories of Minesweeper.
Okay.
As I said, we probably all played more than we should have.
Yeah.
And not in a positive way, just in a way that we've played. Not in a negative way, just in a way that, we're over the time if we tracked and logged all the time we
it's
played
like
Minesweeper.
if you tracked and logged all the time you spent putting on your shoes over the course of your life, it'd probably be
exactly.
similar sort of experience. I think
Completely.
the nail in the coffin for this one may be the fact that I just went to the Minesweeper page on Twitch and nobody's streaming it, so I don't think it's relevant anymore. I think my favorite part about putting it in 19th is that or 20th is that not only do we put it almost at the bottom, but that we are still acknowledging that the Order 1886 is still fucking worse than Minesweeper, which I'm okay with. So I'm cool with 20.
Works for me.
Minesweeper, yeah, I'm fine with that. Minesweeper, again, it'll just be one of those, as this list gets bigger, there's just going to be a lot of, around the middle, just inoffensive things that exist. And I think Minesweeper is the full element of that.
Great. Okay, Minesweeper's there. Thank you so much, Everett. On to his next game. I have not played this, and I kind of fear that even people who have may have a trouble picking this one out of what is a rather long lineup. This is Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, also known as Ratchet and Clank 2, Locked and Loaded in Europe and Australia. So this is the second one of Insomniac's games. We talked about one of their games last week, Sunset Overdrive, super fun. Ratchet and Clank just recently came back, an HD re-release of the first one, or a sort of a retake on it, I guess. This one originally came out on the PlayStation 2. There was an HD remake for the PlayStation 3 later, but the original release was November 2003. Have either of you played Ratchet and Clank, which would have been for us Locked and Loaded?
So I've played bits and pieces of most Ratchet and Clank games, but I've never completed any. I think the PS3 one was probably the one I played the most. So no, I don't really have an opinion on this game.
I'm going to say no too. I know there's probably a lot of people that'll give out, but a lot of these sort of games that came out around this time, the Jak and Daxters, the Ratchet and Clanks, all sort of... I think even Spyro had a few more games as well around that time. Sly Cooper was another one. They all sort of blur to me, and I think outside of the little I would have played of some of them, especially I remember Jak and Daxter on the PS2, I think outside of that I didn't really get too involved. So I'm gonna say no.
So I don't have any sort of history with this series at all myself, but Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando, or Ratchet and Clank 2 Locked and Loaded if you're in Europe, is it seems to be regarded as actually maybe the best of those early Ratchet and Clank games.
Okay.
It's got a really high Metacritic. It's got 90, which is pretty high for a game of that age. Very high reviews from a bunch of places. 1UP gave it 9 out of 10. GameSpot gave it 8.5. Yeah, a lot of people liked it. Games TM and Edge weren't too happy, so I guess Future Publishing or whoever that was in the UK who was doing one of those, not a big fan. But yeah, a lot of IGN gave it 94. I feel like this is also one that we're going to have trouble sticking in purgatory, because I'm not sure if we're going to actually get around to playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the PlayStation 3 version, because there was an HD, so there is an HD re-release on the PlayStation 3, but I'm not sure how we could... Let's provisionally put it in purgatory and see. Yeah. And actually, maybe let's invite people to give their own versions of that as well. If you have any good or bad feedback on Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando, send them in. lies@tournamentoflies.com, and maybe that'll help us inform where it goes as well. But for now, it's going in purgatory. I'm not sure if we're going to get to it anytime necessarily.
Yeah, maybe if people know how it differs from other games, if they're able to say it improved this over the second one, or these are elements that were lost in the next one, or even its peers, what makes it stand out against a Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Blinks the Time Cat, whoever was going around that time. So.
Oh man, can't wait till we get to Blinks the Time Cat. Okay, then let's get to the final one sent in by Everett Gunther, our good friend. This one, and a very interesting game, came out in May of 2011. Developed out of a part of the world that you were just in, Dennis. I think this crowd might have actually been in Australia. Yeah, they're based out of Sydney, I think. Team Bondi. was the developer, the publisher, Rockstar Games. This is LA Noire. James, you live in LA. Have you played LA Noire?
Yes, a little bit. So I'll talk about it a little bit. Have you guys played it probably more than I have?
So
anyway?
I have almost completed it. I got onto like
cool.
I think it was 2 discs, and I think I got like halfway through the set. I remember being like almost there, and then I just lost steam and never finished it. Dennis, what about you?
Similar. Like, yeah, I can't remember the details about just how far I was into the game, but I had done, quite a few of the different cases and all that. I was a good bit into it.
All right, James, you go first, since you're a native.
Yes, because I think that's all probably, as I said, I never really got too deep into it. I know for a fact when this game came out, and like I will agree with it, like they did very well to recreate from a technical production standpoint. They did an amazing job of recreating what 1920s LA was like in terms of the streets, the outskirts, pretty much remaking that and making it as really realistic as possible. And then again, I know this is almost like a test game for their facial animations, like for the whole interrogation scenes, which is in itself is like an amazing a case can be made whether you believe someone or not. And that whole concept as well was very good. As core as a game, it did kind of feel like, it definitely had Rockstar style to it, and it definitely, I think, falls into that realm of like their third-person games, where it could have almost been like in the same way where like a Red Dead Redemption could be GTA, as I'm sure people will give out shit for me saying this, but it almost could be like GTA as a Western. This was almost like GTA as police officers in the 1920s. But it did have those like very cool elements to it with the interrogation scenes, and just again really capturing LA that well for that time, because it came out 2008? Oh, sorry, 2011.
Yeah, 2011. So it still stands as a pretty good-looking game. The interrogation scenes, massive part of it. They happened in the near the end of the cases. The game is sort of based around a bunch of cases in this sort of was this one murder, I guess. Yeah, the Black Dahlia murders. Yeah. But then there was also other cases that you did which weren't necessarily connected to that. It was kind of this game where you would go to a place. Maybe there was like different elements to it where you were like first responding kind of, and then there was like information gathering and evidence gathering, then talking to your cohort about it, and then eventually sort of interrogating people and then going out and trying to get more information. It felt like a sort of a crime procedural, right, Dennis?
Yeah, exactly. Almost like a kind of Monster of the Week type series of crime shows. I think you only hammered the order for having nothing but a setting, but firstly they didn't nail the setting quite like this did. Obviously that setting was a bit more fantasy than this, so potato, is that a saying? No. Anyway, but yeah, look, I actually really enjoyed this for a few hours. Like you, I got bored with it and eventually stopped playing it. Okay, I'm putting words in your mouth. You didn't say you got bored with it, but I eventually just stopped playing it. And there's no other reason other than that I kind of got bored of it. But it was fun, and I think I actually had the exact same issue with Red Dead, where I got 17 hours into it and was kind of like just kind of forgot about it for a while, and then tried to come back to it. I never went back to LA Noire. I think it's a pretty good game. I thought it was pretty great, at least for the amount of time I put into it then. But there's got to be something wrong with it if I just kind of pissed off.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, consistent issue that there is with Rockstar games, is that they always tend to sort of overstay their welcome a little bit. I mean, Red Dead is the biggest example where that Mexico section, so many people never got out of it. Even games like Max Payne 3, which is a game I adore, has like just the longest third chapter ever. It just keeps going. The Bully was a game that had that problem. I mean, GTA 5 has that problem.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly think even some of the GTA games they just get, even San Andreas.
Yes.
Like, it's always nice to sort of like say, oh, we have a game with 80 hours of gameplay and stuff like that, but it's got to have some sort of progression. And while these other games sort of do have it, there's also like a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
Or there's an element that makes you almost like start from scratch, and you're just like, like again.
And LA Noire wasn't a game that you could sort of pick up like GTA and just bang out a couple of missions. Like it was more cerebral. Like you needed to be sort of engaged with what the hell was happening. Like looking at like people's facial cues, and the stakes were kind of high as well. You could easily fuck up the entire mission string if you didn't pick up the right piece of evidence or interview the right person the right way. So, like in a way, that's not the game's fault maybe, because like it aspired to be something that was really challenging, but it's just that like LA Noire to me is one of those games that I never completed, and I really wish I could go back and complete. Like I should just go back and complete it sometime. It's not a game that you totally would have to start it again. You wouldn't have a clue what to do. So
it's definitely something where like I think the concept and the idea behind it is it's excellent. It's like just those sort of thoughts to it, but maybe it's overcomplicating something. But yeah, I think we're on the same page to a degree with this one.
Yeah, it's a really great game. It just there's something about it that if it's like 80% of the way there, because if a game was this challenging and this cerebral and this long, if it was worth it, you'd keep playing. But there's something about it where like, I feel like the story where we have is very similar. Like I feel like you talk to most people about LA Noire, they have also dropped off. Like I know some people have completed it, but the majority of folks I think have had a similar sort of thing to us. I don't know. I think it's a really great achievement. Like what a great idea. So we're gonna make this open world game that's not. It's about there is shooting in it, but it's like it's actually about like conversations. Like they tried to really make something new, and it felt like it was maybe the start of a new type of genre of game, and nobody ever tried it again because it was so bloody expensive. And the game sold 5 million copies across its various platforms. It came out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Windows. God, I might even pick this up.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 points actually. Kind of one positive, one negative. You brought up shooting there, and in a lot of the pre-release stuff, they kind of said, look, you have a gun, but you just never use it, more or less. And that was kind of bullshit, because I found that I was shooting a lot. There were a lot of shootouts. There were shootouts at nearly every turn, and that actually did damage the game, because this game was kind of billed as like a real detective game, and at times it nailed that, and then at times like I remember there was one mission you were in like a movie set, and it was just a whole like a freaking half-hour long shootout. It was ridiculous. And
there was another on a construction site where you murder like 20 people or more probably. You're right, like.
Yeah,
for a game grounded in reality, you were fucking committing genocide. You know, it was
like it was too much. Like and then the other one is much more positive. I think what we maybe love about detective movies or shows is just this kind of whodunit, this kind of like almost the viewer kind of guessing what's going on. But you got to play that in this, and when you got things right, you had a sense of achievement. You thought, oh, I figured out that was there, and it was there, and I figured that out, and I've done well, and I've kind of used my own bit of logic to figure this out, and like it nailed that, and it did nail that side of things. It goes back to also, if you go down the right line of questioning, you get something. It was pretty good in that respect. But yeah, it just, the whole package wasn't quite as good as it just could have been. It could have been. Yeah. I think I wanted this to. I think even in some ways, though, it might be my favorite GTA game. In a funny way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that's the problem as well. Is like I wonder, like, had it stood alone and been more like a cop story, even like the old school like Sierra things where they did like a police quest where, those elements of like you never really need to use your gun, you never need, it's a thing. But are they known as like the GTA company that they had to be like, oh, we have to have these shootouts, we have to do these things, otherwise our general fan base, the 5 million people who are going to buy it, looking for need to do this. Because I think, me personally, I would have much like those police elements, those like strange questioning, really appeal to me. I'm a huge fan of like bad detective novels, like from whenever. Like it's just like, so that element was what drew me there initially, and I think maybe like you, I don't know. I just one day I put it down, and I just wanted to, and unfortunately fairly early on, but it was just. Probably got busy, but it was never really a drive to get back to it.
You can pick it up now for $19.99 on Steam. That's in dollars, probably a little bit more in euros. Yeah, me too. Actually, I bet it looks pretty good on PC still. You could probably run it really good as well.
A lot of mods.
Yeah, there's also a complete edition with all the DLC for $30. I'm not really sure what's on that though. Okay, let's try and place this one. This might be a little bit more tricky. Where are you guys thinking? Dennis, what are you thinking?
Number 6.
That is pushing Transistor down.
Down.
That is actually also where I was looking.
Yeah, I was thinking it was that weird thing where it's like it probably should go above Pod Racer at the very least, but also part of me was sitting there going, people with more understanding of Spyro the Dragon and Call of Duty, would they put it higher there too? You know, does it beat those? So I definitely the top 10, and I could see it being either side of Transistor, definitely.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, I'm actually not. Sunset Overdrive is the one. Obviously, that's there based entirely on me, so
Sure.
it feels like it's kind of my call whether or not that gets pushed up or down. And
yeah, well, like if you know, once it's in the list where it is, and it got there on the back of a very, you know, glowing review by yourself, you really enjoyed it, and we all really enjoyed LA Noire, but we all had that little just slight thing niggling away at us. We didn't complete it for a reason. We all let it down one day. It does, yeah, it's just wasn't quite the game that needs to be. But it's like, I think there's no question like from the bottom up to City of Heroes, there's no question. It only starts even being a thing, and like, yeah. I'm maybe changing my tune a little bit on Pod Racer since we went on it, but like, I think it's hard to argue that even the fantastic version of that in an actual arcade, it's still hard to argue that's better than LA Noire, right?
yeah, and I'm wondering if it maybe goes in 5, but it's hard to say because like Sunset Overdrive does what it does so well. Like the game it's trying to be, it completely nails, and actually is probably way better than it ever had like the right to be or needed to be. Like it's so impressive because it's taking something that was done that feels like an old trick, like that was very much like a sort of a thing that was happening 5 years earlier, and then just makes it like so much better. So, and I feel like LA Noire had grander hopes and maybe got, you know, it didn't get as close to those hopes, but maybe to shoot for the moon, you know what I mean? You had maybe it still gets better. I think personally it probably goes underneath Sunset, because Sunset just like nails what it's trying to do.
Yeah,
happy with that.
I'm fine with that.
All right, LA Noire is in number 6 on our list of 22 video games. Let's run through it for those who don't have access to the extended version, or they're just listening on their iPhone or whatnot. Super Mario World number 1, number 2 Super Meat Boy, followed by Mario Strikers Charge in 3rd, Crash Bandicoot in 4th, and our new entrance Sunset Overdrive. Sorry, our new entrance LA Noire. No, our last week entrance Sunset Overdrive in 5th. 6 to 10 looks like LA Noire, Transistor, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, Spyro the Dragon, and Call of Duty 2. Then we've got City of Heroes in 11, Angry Birds, Gone Home, which got added last week, splitting that, and Super Hexagon in 14th, Excitebike in 15, Papa EO 16th, followed by Gex, The Witcher, Hellgate London, and our bottom 3, Unreal Championship 2, The Lianji Conflict, doing well in the past, or done well today rather, because it's only in 20th, above Minesweeper in 21st, and The Order 1886, damn last, number 22. That's a list, and that's a podcast for this week. How are you guys feeling about the shape of our tournament of lies at the moment?
I really enjoyed actually this week's entrance. Like a real, like, okay, 2 new ones have gone in bottom and second from bottom, and they couldn't be more different other than in their badness.
Yeah.
But they're just wildly different games. Also, the top has got rejigged around. Top 4 hasn't moved, and you know it's going to take really special games to break them. Yeah, I'm happy.
If there was one game in there right now that looks like it's not in the right place, what would it be for you, James?
It's a hard one to say. Maybe Pod Racer. I do. Well, we all love Striker's Charge, but so I'm fine with that one. It might be Pod Racer. That might be a little too high.
Pod Racer's feeling a bit more normal now that we've put in like 2 weeks. Like in the past 2 weeks, we've put Transistor, LA Noire, and Sunset Overdrive above it, so it feels a little bit more better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think even like stuff like the controversial stuff like Excite Bike is now 15th, and it'll probably always sort of stay there in the it'll probably always be a middle of the road game. I do wonder how people were a little upset with Unreal Championship 2. Do you think you're going to get the same outcry about The Order? Are there going to be some people that literally love their exclusives and they're just going to say regardless, like, no, this is a great game, keep it, you don't understand the elements of it, oh no.
I guess we'll find out in the comments.
Yeah. And I guess really, to me, The Witcher, but I can't comment on it. I've never played it. Like, I played a little bit Witcher 3, so it's the points that were brought up were valid.
It's tough.
The infallible list stays infallible.
And we've got 2 more in our other list, in the Purgatory of Lies. Sorry, not a list. It's an unnumbered list. A bunch of bullet points, if you will.
Exactly. May get put into the real list some stage.
The Stanley Parable, one of them, which we're going to play, and we invite all of you to play as well and send in your feedback. That's on PC. You can pick it up on the cheap. Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando. That is going to be a little bit more difficult to do.
Hey, look, Purgatory is like, I know literally nothing about Purgatory or religion, but Purgatory is like this like potentially never-ending thing, right? So
that's true.
Stuff could just sit there, just repent or whatever.
It's true. And we'll come back to the Pro Board. We'll see if the Order 1886 gets put on there. I'll tell you what, though, if it does, I don't know if there's much wiggle room for that one.
Is the only option that I have to play it and then just completely lay the hammer down and be like, these guys were right, this game's terrible.
Yeah, and considering how annoyed you were by Gone Home, I don't think the Order will be particularly fun either.
Yeah, we'll have to go back in time, get you to buy it for $59.99 and then play it.
No,
perfect.
Oh, I probably would have thrown it back at the store.
Excellent. All right, James O'Connor in Hollywood, thank you so much for joining us this week. Dennis Walsh, as ever, in your lovely tank top. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
And thank you all for listening as well. lies@eternaloflies.com if you have any suggestions yourself. We'll hop in the comments as well as usual and chat to everyone in the YouTube comments about what they think we got right and what they think we got wrong. But until next time, thank you so much for listening and for watching. We will see you next time on a tournament of lies.
Take it easy.